My name is Marley Oldham Carnes, and I am a registered dietitian and personal trainer and strength coach. And today I'm going to walk you through a couple of frequently asked questions that I get that I just wanted to share with you guys. So the first question is, what is real nutrition mean to me? What's my nutritional philosophy? And how do I teach it practically? Well, my number one nutrition philosophy that you'll hear me say all the time is food and fitness should both be fun and enjoyable, right? If we have something that's fun and that we enjoy it, it's going to be more sustainable long term, meaning that's going to be more likely a habit that you will keep long term. And habits are really where we take those little baby steps towards behavior change. So, a few things that I like to talk to people about when I do have clients and we're looking to change some behaviors or have some healthier lifestyle habits long term is mindset and stress, managing that appropriately, sleep hygiene and getting enough good quality sleep, and then decreasing ultra processed foods in the diet and replacing them with whole foods. So those are just three areas of behavior change that are the formulas for success. Another question I commonly get is, what actually helps people improve their diet? Is it mindset, behavior change, approach, knowledge? What can we do to actually improve our diet and our health? Well, it's all of those things, but really our healthy habits should, again, complement the enjoyment of our life, not take away from enjoying life. So habit and behavior change are a huge piece of what can help you improve not only your life enjoyment, but your ability to stay healthy and live a longer life. So finding some of those habit changes and behaviors that you can focus on. Habits can be very, very powerful in either direction, right? We can have habits that help us be healthy, but we can have habits that take away from that too. So some common things that I tell people to do is find maybe a habit that they're currently doing that they know they can improve upon. So maybe it's every night after dinner, man, I just ate dinner, I want something sweet, I'm still hungry, I'm craving XYZ. Maybe instead of indulging in those extra calories that you hopefully you're getting enough calories in your diet, but it might be just extra added calories that you don't really need and that aren't really providing any nourishment. So generally it's a recommendation around, hey, instead of partaking in this ultra processed food after dinner that you're craving, why don't you go for a walk or go out in the garden? Or even why don't you just replace that food with something that is going to provide some nutrient value? For example, if it's like you're craving something sweet, maybe it's some chocolate covered almonds that you have a small portion of after dinner that will help with that sweetness, but also give you some nutrients from those almonds and some fat from those almonds that will help you stay full and satisfy you. The next question is the science behind fad diets. Do they work? What are major implications that can be made? How will it impact your overall health? What are we seeing as a result of fad diets and trends? Well, I'll say one thing is usually there's some sliver of science where the fad diet or the trend was created. There was some kind of glimmer that sparked this idea, and whether that glimmer or that science was truthful or misconstrued or a one-off study, we don't really know, but what we do know is there's this magic shiny thing that we all want. It's been sensationalized. It looks great. It looks easy. I would much rather do the easy thing than the long-term slow progression, right? So that's where we kind of get trapped into some of those fad diets. But what I will say is there is a huge word of caution when you fall into one of these traps or really want to buy that supplement or do that cleanse or whatever it is, know that there are a lot of long-term health issues that can stem from some of these fad diets, and we may not even know what those long-term health issues or implications may be. So a lot of times fad diets or these new shiny things that come up, we just don't know what kind of effects they're going to have and what kind of effects long-term they may have on your health. So there's a lot of unknown. There is some knowns on certain diets of what they may do to your metabolism or what they may do to your health currently. And then layer in that, a lot of people in the US have different chronic diseases or they're on some kind of prescription medication. And when you have medication in food, there's actually a lot of interactions between the two that can cause some problems. So not only do we not know the long-term effects, there could be things going on in your current health status that would make it even more dangerous. So I challenge you to try to avoid falling into some of those what look shiny traps. Maybe talk to a professional, talk to your doctor, get some professional advice or opinions on anything that you have questions on. It is good to learn and know about things, but again, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, there's going to be some long-term health consequences, and you may end up, and generally with most fad diets that we're looking at losing weight loss rapidly, we end up either back in our same situation down the road or even worse off than we began. So we see people who lose weight rapidly, generally they gain it back plus more. So that's my spiel on fad diets. Reach out to a registered dietitian if you do have questions on any specific diets that you are looking into, and they'll be able to help you along the way with some of that information. Next, why are people so confused and just so confused about food in general? So now more than ever, we have more access to information. We have information overload. Everybody is an expert in nutrition, and part of that stems too from everybody eats, right? So just because I eat a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that the way I eat or the macros that I eat or the foods that I eat are gonna work for you for what they work for me. So everybody is individualized. Everybody is different. So there really is a lot of confusion just by the amount of information and then the amount of conflicting information. You have one person saying this, you have another person saying this. What is the truth? Who knows what is going on the internet, right? So again, it's hard to, swim through the mud, if you will, on some of these things. But generally, you want to make sure that you are following the science, getting, good information from reliable sources, and if it sounds too good to be true, it might be. So that's generally what we're seeing. It's just a lot of information. It's really conflicting. It is very confusing, and I encourage people to go back to the basics, and it sounds simple, and it's not super sexy or fun or exciting to hear, but you can make it fun and exciting in your own kitchen or in your own way. But again, it's picking those whole foods, those lean meats, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, dairy, all of those things combined together that are going to be what you probably hear all the time. That clear message of whole foods, choosing those more often or most often over those ultra-processed foods. Next question is about weight loss. So how important is diet versus exercise? And what advice I give around that. Now, I'll even say diet, exercise, sleep, and mindset or behavior change. Those are actually the 4 that I find really are your pillars. And I can't really, we used to say, it's 80% nutrition, 20% your diet, abs are made in the kitchen, all of these great fun phrases, right? But really, they compact onto each other so much that you can't really say it's one without the other. Like, sleep impacts your ability and your energy to go work out. Sleep also impacts what kind of cravings you have when you don't get enough sleep, and how much you consume when you don't get enough sleep. And sleep also impacts your energy and your mindset and your brain. So sleep is one example. You can say the same thing about nutrition, same thing about fitness, and the same thing about mindset and behaviors. They all work together. So that's really a big piece of the weight loss puzzle, is that it's a combination that is key, that's driving our behaviors and mindset around weight loss. So again, it's a combination of everything that drives us to get to that weight loss. So making sure we're changing some habits and behaviors around our sleep, our nutrition, and even our mindset, or how we think about things. So I also got asked a question on nutritionism. And now nutritionism, although I knew this concept, that was a term that I hadn't actually heard. So nutritionism is basically kind of how marketing has given a good versus bad outlook on certain nutrients are good for you, certain things are bad for you. So fiber and whole grains and vitamin A is great for XYZ, and saturated fat is bad, trans fat is bad, right? We have this good versus bad. Now, there is some truth to the benefits and the consequences of some of these different nutrients or things that we find in food, absolutely. But one of my biggest pet peeves is actually when something is demonized, or something is like food, for example, when it's creating food fear. So when people become fearful of eating their food, that's one of the things that just breaks my heart, because food is so many things to so many people. Food is fun, food is culture, food is family and social. So demonizing something or causing somebody to fear food is not going to be a great thing. So really it boils down to, again, the marketing and the sensationalism that is put out there, that we want easy answers. We want to be told, yes, eat this, don't eat that. Yes, this is good. Yes, this is bad. But really, how that all works is, it's really hard in nutritional science to single out specific nutrients and know those benefits. When you compare that in a study compared to eating a whole food, there's a difference there. So although we know some benefits of different nutrients, it's really this concept called the food matrix, which is when you eat a whole food versus a single nutrient, it's going to have a different effect on your body. Things are going to happen differently. So it's where we see, supplements and real food. We opt for the real food because it's got all of these different things in it: the fiber, the vitamins, the minerals, the phytochemicals, all these great nutrients inside a whole food. And we just don't have the solid science to give definite answers a lot of times in nutritional science. But what we do know is that the effect of whole foods and the benefits of whole foods are a lot greater in a lot of ways, in the sense of you're getting a full rounded food matrix of nutrients and benefits. And then, what is my opinion on supplements? I get asked about supplements all the time. So, really, with supplements, as a registered dietitian, I'm going to say real food first, always real food first. If you have specific questions, you can ask me or ask your registered dietitian. Maybe reach out to a sports dietitian if you're looking for sports type of supplements. But there's a lot of herbals out there. There's a lot of unregulated, untested supplements. So it's kind of a crazy, wild, wild west in the supplement world. But I will say this, there are a few things that I might recommend to a client, and this is just general information. This is not advice to anybody, but something to look at is your multivitamin, your vitamin D, and your omega-3s. So your multivitamin, if you're the type of person who consistently eats the same things, you don't get a lot of variety in your diet, the first recommendation on food would be get as many colors as you can. Your whole grains is a great way, but then when you look at your fruits and your vegetables, your dark leafies, your orange and red and purple, all these great colors, you're going to get that variety of nutrients that's going to give you a variety of vitamins and minerals. And we look at vitamin D, that's one of vitamin D and omega-3s are two things that a lot of folks are deficient in. So vitamin D is that sunlight, right? That's the best source of vitamin D. 15 minutes in the sun from 10 to 3, depending on where you live and what time of the year it is. But vitamin D is something too that a lot of doctors may test you for to see if you're deficient and may provide some recommendations around vitamin D supplements for you. And then omega-3s, food-wise, getting 2 to 3 servings of fish a week is ideal to get your omega-3s, where they need to be. But there are different fish oils and krill oil and omega-3 supplements. Again, the supplements for those, you really have to know exactly what you're looking for to make sure that you are spending your money wisely. Again, you're better off opting for the real food, getting some of those benefits of the food matrix versus grabbing a pill or a supplement. But again, take a look at your diet. If you have questions, find a registered dietitian that you can ask. Go to your doctor, ask what they recommend, get your annual physical, and get your lab work done and see what your doctor or your dietitian can recommend for you specifically, because everybody is individualized, and supplements are a range of different things out there and different claims. So be wise on that and do your research and get, again, a professional opinion on what types of supplements you should be using based on your individual goals and your health. And then lastly, just kind of my 3 general takeaways is, again, make food and fitness fun and enjoyable so you can sustain it long term and have some of those healthy habits and behavior changes. Then number 2, make small goals. Make reasonable baby steps towards that bigger goal so that when you do change a habit or a behavior, it becomes more long-term. If you're looking at weight loss, it's about the pounds that you lose that stay off, not the pounds that you lose as fast as you can. And when you're making those goals, make them specific, make them realistic, make them measurable. Take a look at maybe some of your problem areas or areas you struggle with or vices, and make some goals around that to help change that habit or that behavior or some of those problem areas to be a more healthier habit or behavior. So that's where I would start there, is look at your problem areas and make some goals around that. And then number 3, which we haven't talked about, but I think is very important, is finding support. So part of this is, yes, your medical doctor, your family physician, if you're seeing a dietitian, or even if you're at the gym and you need some professional support for your fitness and working out and reaching some of your performance goals. Absolutely, those are all great resources. But also think about your social connection. Now more than ever, we have found that it is so important. So your family, your friends, your community, find ways to connect with people and find ways to, maybe you are that motivator or that encourager for somebody else, but find somebody too that maybe has some of your similar goals or your similar interests in mind, so you guys can motivate and support each other. That's going to make your journey to a healthier lifestyle a whole lot easier, a whole lot more fun. So again, those are just a few of my tips that I wanted to share with you guys today to make sure that you guys are having some healthy, fun, sustainable lifetime habits that are going to make you live longer and enjoy life more. So again, I am Marley Oldham Carnes. You can follow me at Marley Nutrition on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, any of those platforms. And I hope to get to talk to you guys maybe sometime in person. Thank y'all.